I believe this mission of living in peace in America and with Americans is done now through the empowerment of Muslim community in the civil life. Please, 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 Dr. Zuhdi, stop presenting us as people who is planning to throw the US government and constitution away and to establish the Islamic State here. Stop picking up the statements of a few fanatic or ignorant ones and presenting them as if this is the standard of the mainstream Muslims, because by doing this, you are contributing to those extremists who want us all to believe that America is in war with Islam. Number two, Dr. Zuhdi wants to correct Muslims, but he keeps addressing what he thinks to be Muslims' mistakes with non-Muslims. I personally never witnessed him talking about his views in any local Islamic center. I am not sure even if my brother here, Dr. Zuhdi, know how many Islamic centers we have here in the valley. If you answer this, I will give you a thumb up if you have the right answer. You want to reform Islam? Good. But this needs to be done by engaging the Muslim community, not by isolating and accusing the community. Even if I agree with part of your theory for reform, but I see your practice not supporting it. The fact that you, my brother Dr. Zuhdi, are lining up with Islam haters like Glenn Beck, Shai Hannity, Steve Emerson, and Robert Spencer, and others who always focus on the negative things and love to show Islam only through the most extremist elements. Third Jihad, the movie that you narrated, and Future 2 was focusing on the most extreme figures to prove this point about the imminent threat of Islamism to US. You were with Robert Spencer on a Glenn Beck show. You agreed with him in every single point he brought against Islam and Muslims. Mr. Spencer is the one who is authoring a book now, wondering in this book whether Muhammad ever existed in the history, and you are lining up with him. He is the director of Jihad Watch, the most ever extreme website against Islam and Muslims in US, to the point if there is a car accident outside and one driver is a Muslim, Jihad Watch will list this as a terrorist attack attempt in US. So I see your friends. They are not the mainstream Americans. Your friends are not the mainstream Americans, Christians or Jews, but the Islam haters who are saying everywhere Islam is evil and Quran is a book of violence. Number three, I believe it is very possible to be patriotic American and still practice Islam with the right definition of Islam and Sharia. I see you, unfortunately, just like the authors of the anti-Sharia bills in Tennessee and other states, incorrectly talking about the major Islamic organizations and the mainstream Muslims as if they have a system of legal, political, military, and religious laws that calls its followers to overthrow the United States government through brutal force, acts of terrorism, and holy war in order to establish their sole political and religious state. Unfortunately, this makes the mainstream Muslims look like a straight path to terrorism. The fear and the stigma such approach creates is potentially dangerous and divisive. Number four, Dr. Zuhdi wants to reform Islam without studying it first. Just imagine, for instance, for a person like me, who spent my life in religious studies and working as a professional religious leader, suppose if I want to reform, but not Islam, but the medical field, without even bothering to go to any medical school first. For sure, I will miss out. Nobody will listen to me. Dr. Zuhdi now talk a lot in major Islamic, modern, complicated issues. Each one of these issues, in my opinion, needs an assembly of religious scholars to be able to reform it. Number five, I see, Dr. Zuhdi, your view of separation between church and the state too extreme. You wrote in Arizona Republic criticizing Janet Napitalo when she was the governor of Arizona, when we invited her to talk to our community after the holiday prayer. You wrote accusing her of mixing church and the state, despite the fact she was Arizona Attorney General before being the governor, and she knows the law more than you and me. You the same, you criticize the FBI because of their outreaching to the Muslim community. Number six, I do not agree with your concept of reform for the theory of 100% choice you keep presenting. You say yes to alcohol because Islam is by choice, while God in the Quran, the book we believe in, says no to alcohol. I am asking you, how about drugs? Do you want us to apply the same concept to drugs and make it in the hand of everybody and just let people choose? How about the dress code? Why the law here in America does not allow people to walk in the street naked? Because it's choice, 100% choice. I think your views in Islam are too extreme. You are against ground zero mosque, even though the Imam and the community there are one of the most modern and liberal Muslims in US. Yet you describe him, the Imam, and the community there as radicals. The sixth Imam case, for sake of God, you appointed yourself to be the expert in this case. You kept repeating in the media that the Imams are wrong. US Air was right to declare the Imams. Yet you failed to call at least one of these Imams to ask him what happened first, regardless of the fact that 5 of these Imams are local, live with you here in the same city. Thank you very much.